The film opens with a young woman, Ellen, calling out and asking for companionship. She is answered by a low, inhuman voice, saying that she has awoken him from an eternal slumber. The voice comes from an unseen entity, viewed only through the silhouette in Ellen's drapes blowing by the window. The entity asks if Ellen pledges herself to him, to which she agrees. Ellen starts to seize up. Germany, 1838. Years later, Ellen has married real estate agent Thomas Hutter and is living in the town of Wisborg. The two are deeply in love, and Thomas begins a new job working for Orlock. He tasks Thomas with selling off an old castle belonging to the mysterious Count Orlock. When Thomas tells Ellen of his impending trip to sell the castle, she becomes upset. She tells him of a dream that she had on their wedding night, where all the guests had died and she was met by death as her groom, but Ellen claims that she had never felt so happy. Thomas leaves Ellen in the care of their friends, Friedrich Harding and his wife Anna. The couple have two daughters, Clara and Louise, and Anna is pregnant with a third child. Thomas takes his leave and travels to a small village in Bohemia for the night. The locals try to shun him when they learn he has business involving the Count, but they let him stay when he pays double. At night, Thomas watches the villagers walking into the woods with a nude woman and coming to a sarcophagus containing a creature, whom they impale with a stake. Thomas later continues his journey and walks alone into the woods, where a carriage pulls up for him and escorts him to the castle in the mountains. Thomas meets Count Orlock, who mostly moves in darkness. He tells Thomas to address him as "my lord" and goes over the paperwork to sell the castle. Thomas cuts his thumb, which Orlock senses and feeds off the blood. Orlock sees Thomas's locket that contains a picture of Ellen, whom he recognizes as the woman who pledged loyalty to him years ago. Orlock doesn't let Thomas leave due to his weakened state. Orlock feeds off Thomas's chest while he is unconscious. Later, Thomas finds Orlock resting in his sarcophagus, confirming to him that he is a vampire. Thomas tries to kill him with a pickaxe, but Orlock awakens and pursues Thomas along with his hounds. Thomas climbs out of a window onto a ledge and jumps into the river to escape. While out with Friedrich and Anna, Ellen begins to experience his seizures once again. She becomes distressed from Thomas's absence and is bedridden. Dr. Wilhelm Sievers is brought in to treat Ellen with modern medicine, believing she is suffering from an excess of blood. Meanwhile, Thomas is recovered and taken to a nearby church for his injuries, but he rushes back home, knowing that Orlock has his sights set on Ellen. Sievers goes to his mentor, Dr. Albin Eberhard von Franz, an expert in the occult. They visit Orlock, who is institutionalized due to his madness. He has several headless pigeons near him before he takes a bite out of another, saying that his master, aka Orlock, is coming. Von Franz determines that Ellen is being controlled by Orlock, who is also known as Nosferatu, though Friedrich is skeptical of this. Von Franz visits Ellen in her room, where she talks about being haunted by Orlock and his impending arrival and how he has been haunting her mind and dreams since she was a child. She asks if evil comes from within or from beyond. Orlock stows away on a ship inside crates filled with the dirt that he came from, along with plague rats. He eventually breaks free and begins to slaughter the crewmates one by one before the ship crashes into the harbor of Wisborg. Thomas makes his way back to Ellen, but Orlock is mind-controlling her to speak through her and taunt him. The Count arrives in Wisborg and is taken by an escaped Knock to his new residence. He says that his plans can only be complete if Ellen re-pledges herself to him willingly, as it would not work if he took her by force. At night, Orlock appears to Ellen in a dream while she sleeps next to Anna. Ellen has come to see Orlock for the monster that he is and refuses to join him. He gives her 3 nights, beginning that night, to change her mind and divorce Thomas, or he will kill everyone she loves and take the rest of the town with him. When Ellen awakens, she finds Anna on the floor with rats running around her body. Rats continue to spread a plague through Wisborg. Orlock continues to try and get into Ellen's mind to push Thomas away, but she has him have rough sex with her in an act of defiance against the Count. At night, Anna hears her daughters screaming and comes to find Orlock feeding off Clara and Louise before he advances toward her, killing Anna and her unborn child. Friedrich later goes to Anna's tomb in a fit of despair and begins to kiss her, allowing himself to die by catching her disease. Von Franz and Sievers find their bodies and burn them. Ellen and von Franz realize that the only way to truly be rid of Orlock is for her to be the one to willingly sacrifice herself. Von Franz leads Thomas and Sievers on a supposed hunt for Orlock. They go to his manor and open his sarcophagus to kill him, but they instead impale Knock, who lies in there. He laments that he was never going to receive the benefits he was promised, as Orlock had only ever cared for taking Ellen. Thomas rushes back to Ellen while von Franz burns the place to the ground. Orlock comes to Ellen's room as she willingly repledges herself to him. He kisses her and lays with her, having sex with her and feeding off her blood until the morning comes. Realizing too late that he has been tricked, Orlock screams in agony as he bleeds to death and shrivels into a corpse, with Ellen holding him as she also starts to die. Thomas makes it back in time to see her alive long enough before she is gone. He weeps as he holds his wife's body in his arms. Von Franz concludes by stating that thanks to Ellen's sacrifice, the rest of the town was spared from the curse of Nosferatu.